Oh yeah, the fan's still running. So, from what we've looked up online, the engine coolant temperature sensor has gone out. And on the dashboard, it's showing that it's reading no temperature at all. So what the vehicle is doing is leaving the fan on because it doesn't know if it's hot or not. And it's leaving the fan on for about 5 minutes after the truck turns off, which is then draining the battery, which then won't allow me to start it. So we got a side project. Fuel pump will have to wait a couple hours. Got to replace the engine coolant temperature sensor there. And yep, that's a Firebird. Someone asked last time. So let's hop on in. All right, so we're working on a 2015 GMC Yukon, where we got to replace the engine coolant temperature sensor, which I think is under there somewhere, but we're gonna have to watch some videos. You know how we do it. First time for everything on this channel. And if you like seeing someone do something they don't know how, smash that follow button. All right, so let's get this coolant temperature sensor removed. Take off the battery ground. There's a push tab here. You push on that. That should pop off. Come over to this side. You're gonna have another one that you gotta push on the bottom, and then that one pops off. So we have that done. Then let's go ahead and get this bad boy loosened up here. All right, that's loose there. Then we should have one more. Yep, right there. I can't see it with my eyes, so I'm trying to use the camera to actually visually see it. There we go. We'll hit fast forward on this for y'all. Ah. Let's see. All right, that should be loose there now. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's see. Come on, baby. Let's loosen that up just a hair more, maybe. No, it's pretty loose. There we go. And now we can pull this whole piece out. Now you got access to everything. Now we're gonna have to remove this hose up here a little bit and drain some of the fluid out. So whenever we pull that sensor out there, everything doesn't gush everywhere. All right, let's go ahead and squeeze and loosen this bad boy. Definitely with one hand. All right, so we're gonna loosen this up here. We're squeezing. Hard to do it with one hand, but we're making it happen. Let's pop this off. Let's try to drain some of that excess fluid because we don't want it gushing everywhere. Okay, so we got that drained. Now we do have this one hose over here that runs into where the thermostat's at, but our goal is to be able to get this bad boy off. Now I got to figure out how to undo that clip there, but when I pinch this clamp, lift it up out the way so we can really get down on that part there. Okay, so now what we have to do here is, see that little tab there? That has to be pushed while you're lifting this white thing. See that pops out? Pull that out. Then now you're gonna have this black tab here. You see that one right there? You're gonna push on that and it pops right off. Okay. So then now, I wanna say it's gonna be a 19 deep well socket to get that off, or you can just use a regular wrench. So let's see what we have so we can get it done. All right, so we got our 19. Let's get that bad boy on there. Super simple to break loose. It looks like they had Teflon tape on there before, so we'll do the same thing. But as you can see, since there is pressure, it's gonna come gushing out. All right, so let's get the other sensor ready, throw a little Teflon on it so we can do a quick swap. All right, so we just threw a couple wraps of Teflon on there real quick. Let's see if we can do this with one hand, and as y'all can tell, I've been doing all of this with one hand. And I would definitely recommend you let the car cool down a little bit. So as you can see, it's already stopped the flow. We got it on there. We're gonna tighten it up just a little bit. We're not gonna go crazy on it. You know, snug. You don't need to over tighten. And as you can see where I'm holding tension, I still have plenty of room to pull tension on there, but I don't need it at the end. I don't need to crank down on it. Once it gets tight for me up here, just a little bit of snugness to it, and we're done. Let's go ahead and get that clip. Push that clip right back in. This plastic piece. And always remember exactly how you take it out so you can put it back in the exact same way. And it clicks back on. Now let's go ahead and get this back down and we go in reverse. Before we go completely in reverse, I just wanted to show you the sensor real quick. So let's grab these channel locks, get some clamps back on. All right, so we squeeze that clamp, put it back down, squeeze this clamp, pushed it back over. Don't squeeze this bad boy too hard, because this little lip here that prevents it from being over squeezed, if it goes on this back end, you'll have fun getting it back off. So got that back on. We'll go ahead and get this piece back over. Remember, make sure it goes in that spot, clamps in, make sure it goes in to that spot and clamps back in. Sometimes you're gonna have problems trying to squeeze that back on there. Don't judge me, y'all, but oh yeah, just rub a little bit on there. Help that bad boy slide right back on. All right, so that one's on, that one's on. Get your screwdriver, tighten them back up. And you ain't got to go crazy, just so it's nice and snug. You're not having to crank it down, you're not trying to break anything, you just need a nice snug fit. Now, if you're one of the car audio guys, give a little extra twist to it, because you know how everything vibrates your vehicle. But this is the wife's car, so we're not vibrating anything. She said I can keep the bass in my car. Okay, so those two are tight. Let's go ahead and get this. See how it clicks back in there? Nice and snug. Let's go ahead and grab this one. See how it clicks back in there? Let's see. There we go. Nice click back in there. All right, that one's done. We'll have to put the ground back on, but before we do that, remember, we lost fluid, so let's go ahead and top that bad boy back up to where it needs to go. You'll have some lines on the side, shows you where it's full cold. So make sure you get the right radiator fluid for the right model vehicle, which since we're working on a Yukon, we're gonna get some GM fluid. Let's go ahead and go grab some real quick. Get in the zone, auto zone. So we went ahead and got some Prestone radiator fluid. This one works for all vehicles, makes, models, and years. So we're gonna go ahead and add some of that bad boy in there to where we need it to be and go. But remember, whenever you're grabbing these containers of Coolant, there we go. Some of them are ready to use and they're already pre-diluted. Some of them are not ready to use and not pre-diluted. Make sure you read the bottle. You don't want to add the wrong stuff in, okay? So let's crack this bad boy open and get some in there. Well, poke a couple holes in it, one breather, one. That was a little bigger than we wanted, but whatever. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna need 2 hands for this. All right, so we just made a little bit of a mess. We'll wipe that down. We got some rags in the garage. And anything down at the bottom we'll use kitty litter to soak up, properly dispose. So since we're all done with everything, we're going to throw this ground back on. Let's see here again. Let's go ahead and grab our socket and wrench again. 10 millimeter. Of course, the only one that you probably lost out your toolbox, because I couldn't even find where I had left mine. So let's go ahead and crank this back up. And yeah, I can see the date on that battery. We might be up for a new one already. So we're not going to over crank this either. Same as the other. You can kind of see where my hand is. I'm not way down there on the end. I'm not trying to throw a lot of tension and torque on it. Just until it's nice and snug. Give just a little bit more. One of the things I always like to do after that, I always grab the terminal and see if I can shift it at all. Okay, it doesn't shift at all. So let's go back into the car. We're gonna crank it over and see what happens. Let's throw this in there. It's a good sign. Everything turned on. The temperature sensor, or the temperature gauge here, actually worked. It was sitting at 60 with the check engine light on. Let's crank it on. Ooh. Yep, that fan staying on for long extended periods of time has killed the battery. So we'll be going and getting a new battery next and replacing that. But that's what we wanted to see. Right there. It didn't stay at 60. It actually showed what the temperature is, and our check engine light's gone. So that's how to change a coolant temperature sensor in a 2015 GMC Yukon. Super simple. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but you can all do it in your front yard. And as today, I've shown that you can do it with one hand and minimal tools. So hopefully this helps someone out. If you liked it, smash the like button. Subscribe, follow, whatever platform I posted it on. You know what's up. We got a lot of cleaning up to do, but thank you for having this adventure with me.